Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 7th round of the Virtual Circuit Racing MX5 Championship tonight from Winton Motor Raceway in Australia. One of the newer circuits added into iRacing in the last few seasons, actually. A few seasons ago now. It is playing host to round 7 of our championship. A good sized circuit, you'd say, for this type of car. Myself, Ewan and James Parfitt taking you through the action here tonight for what for the second half of this season is going to be a double race round, if you like. 2 15-minute races with a full reverse grid for race number 2 coming up here tonight once again as we continue on with this format. Hopefully, James is going to give us some different race results after the domination so far of Traffic King in this championship.
No, unfortunately he took both wins last week, so I'm not going to give you anything different. Trap's flying. I think he's wrapped up the championship. He's not here tonight because he's at a track day, but yeah, generally he is well ahead of everybody else, isn't he? And it's going to be a tough, tall order for people to catch up. However, the battle for second's quite interesting. Woodhouse and Addy on the same amount of points. Price, Southfield, McIntosh and Josh Hathwaite all not very far away from each other. So the battle for second and third could be very, very spicy, but I think the championship is done.
Well, yeah, it might well be, even though Traffic King is not here today. It's been difficult to beat. I mean, so many times, though, in this season, we've seen him, properly challenged in these races. At the moment, he's 52 points in front of Woodhouse and Addy. Then you've got that battle for 4th place, really. Dave Price, Lee Saffel, Chris McIntosh and Joshua Hathwaite all there 3rd to 7th in 4th to 7th rather. So there's a couple of good battles for position going on up and down the field in terms of those championship standings. But yeah, for King it is very much a runaway at the front now. But it's not like he hasn't been challenged over the course of this season. He really has been. I mean, especially remember that race at Alton Park round 4. Which was perhaps the most, at that point anyway, the most he'd been challenged by anybody. And it's just not happened yet. Everybody else getting pretty close, though.
I think that's the thing. The gap's come down quite a lot. But, it's like I was chatting to Luke earlier on. And he was just basically saying that just the amount of time Traff's in the car, it's insane on it. The guy's an absolute rapid machine in this car, and the problem is now they brought in this double format. If they don't get him on the second one, or if they don't get him on the first one, he goes all the way to the back, which is fine, but then he just manages to get back to the front. And how do you stop him? Do you put full gloves up, defend like a trooper? I don't really know.
That's difficult. Oh dear, as Woodhouse finds that first chicane difficult. Oh, he's not hit the wall though. Very well done out of turns 1 and 2. That's before you get to the original paddock, by the way, on this circuit. You can see it there on the right-hand side of the straight towards turn 3 on the corner. It's not a very long way around here, though, at all. It's just 1.8 miles or so, almost exactly 3 kilometres around here. And even for these cars, just a 1 minute 31 lap time. And Chris McIntosh looks like he's taken the pole here. We'll see whether he goes any quicker here. He's leading a few drivers around, actually, at the moment. See if he gets into the 30s maybe with a late lap time here. Wouldn't take much for him to get himself over into the 30s, but no, he isn't going to get there. But indeed, he doesn't need to. He is on the pole, ready for the first race tonight. Let's have a look at the starting grid, shall we, with McIntosh on the front. He's nearly 3 tenths in front of Luke Woodhouse, with Dave Price just over half a second behind. Matthew Addy very close behind him. Joshua Hathwaite and Lee Southall then on row 3 in front of Luke Burton and Liam Joyce, with Ben Gibbons and Dan Buckingham rounding off the top 10. The 10 drivers indeed in the field here tonight. It's therefore not going to be a massive reverse grid, but we're going to get the chance to see some different guys winning this race tonight. So should be exciting to see who's going to take the victory with Traffic King not here.
Yeah, I do wonder, because I think it could be interesting with McIntosh and Woodhouse. And we know McIntosh, he can be a little bit of a kettle at times where, he's on fire and he's boiling his head off. And the next thing you know, he's stone cold and the plug's gone. Yeah, he's almost a maverick, if you know the meaning of the word maverick.
Yeah, sort of.
Do you or not?
Well, I couldn't define it in a dictionary, but I think I know what you mean. Anyway, let's see as the lights come on here from Winton. It's Chris McIntosh with that inside line on the front row, ready for turn 1. as we get underway in the Virtual Circuit Racing MX5 Championship, and it's a much better launch from Luke Woodhouse. There's completely level grid slots here, means first and second start a dead level and into turn one. Woodhouse takes the lead in front of McIntosh. Addy and Price side by side for third place, and look at that, Josh Hathwaite taking it 3 wide over the old pit straight here into turn 3. He dives down the inside and they just about squeezed through. Nicely done the outside there from Price to hold on to third. Round turn 4 though, he's still there and he gets back into third again. Hathwaite aggressive on the inside of 3 wide, but in the end he couldn't take both places. Dave Price holds on to third as Woodhouse takes the race lead.
Yeah, it's great. Woodhouse up front, he just, as you say, level boxes, he just got off the line, absolutely flew away from Chris McIntosh, and McIntosh had to try and recover. Price, Hathwaite, Addy, this is going to be an interesting thing for me, because obviously Addy's battling away in the championship, but the person he's battling away with is leading this race. They're on, I think, 118 points apiece here for first and second. So, and I think a lot of Addy's work hasn't come from being massively aggressive with overtakes. I think sometimes with Matthew Addy, it's just about keeping it on track and surviving.
Well, yeah, staying in this front group pretty important. It looks like the top 6 have been able to manage that. Further down the field, we do have guys off the back. Buckingham looks like he was off the road there briefly. Joyce is quite a long way off the back of the pack as well. This is a few moments ago. Buckingham was in last early, but now Liam Joyce is. Now this is through the slower speed section, middle sector, and he goes for a spin, just loses the rear end through turn 8 and goes all the way around. Has to wait for everybody to go past before he rejoins, and yeah, Buckingham then went off the road a little bit later on in the lap, but nothing too bad for him really. He's still in 9th place at the moment, but a clean start mostly for the leaders, just a long way off the back of the field for the rest. There's Buckingham just getting out of shape towards turn 7, which is pretty hard, to be honest.
Yeah, I think this is the thing with these cars, that and this circuit as well. Don't get me wrong, Winton is a different circuit, as Vandy said in YouTube chat. You know, this track is something for sure. They got their first win there this week, so fair play, Vandy. Well done, congratulations. But there's a lot of throttle management in this circuit. There's a lot of lefts, a lot of rights. And tyres is going to play a massive part as well. We're going to take a good couple of laps, 2-3 laps to try and get them up to temperature, and then they've got to try and manage them. The new tyre model that come in for the MX5, oh God, must be a while ago now, literally caused mass dramas because it was just so loose on the car, and it took 2 to 3 laps to get back to get tyre temperature in. And I think these guys are really going to be feeling that here as well, because there are times when you need to get on the throttle early, especially in turn 1 chicane, and you just can't, because you end up then bouncing over what's in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. And there won't be many guys with lots of experience around here either, I wouldn't imagine. Here's a look down the inside from McIntosh. He can't get there in towards turn 1. Luke Woodhouse able to stay in front, but this first chicane, you really got to get the first part right there for a good run through the second, and Woodhouse did not do that. Inside for McIntosh as he dives into turn 3. On the inside line he gets through. That was quite nicely done on the inside line from Chris McIntosh. I mentioned just hanging back really through that first chicane there and getting a good exit off of turn 2 to fire it down the inside in time for turn 3, but Woodhouse is not done yet. Oh, he dives to the inside and he very nearly sideswipes McIntosh there through the long right hand, or left hander rather, of turn 5 into 6. He goes into a big spin, big slide. He saves it without getting hit by anybody, but Woodhouse drops all the way down to 6th place.
Oh, that's a touch for Matthew Addy. Addy's in 4th at the moment. He's now got Woodhouse behind him. That was meteoric by Woodhouse as well, because that could have ended up in mass drama with everybody, because he was out in front, he spun in front of these guys, and they all managed to avoid him, which was absolutely amazing, because it could have been 2, 4, 6 cars into a pile-up, and me and you would have been doing a podcast.
Well, yes. Nobody wants that. So, yeah, it's good that the front of the field stays close. You do wonder, though, whether now that Woodhouse is out the picture, whether McIntosh can get away at the front of the field, because it really looked like those two head and shoulders above the rest, but maybe not. That was a big clip over the curbs through the final corner there, and McIntosh is only inviting the others back into it here.
And the problem is the drive of these little MX5s are so strong that they will come into it as well. Turn 1 is horrendous. That curb, and that. That curb is horrible. I saw McIntosh actually earlier on in practice go over that curb, and he went too wide, and he literally bounced the left side of the car up on two wheels. He was literally on the right side of the car only, coming over that curb. It is an horrendous curb if you get it wrong. So, yeah, well done to everybody to be able to sort of handle that car. Dan Buckingham is unfortunately out, but that is because of this.
Yeah, it's quite hard to hit walls around here, so interested to see what's gone on here through turn 8. Goes in way too deep there. And spins around again. That might be the end of that for Buckingham here in this race.
Bryson Hathwaite, I think.
Yeah, the gap to McIntosh has opened up, so maybe they weren't so lucky second time round. Woodhouse made this mistake through into here before. Price was hit there pretty hard, and into a spin he goes. Oh, and he's trying to sort of let him back through again here, but obviously gets in the way of the rest of the field there as well, just Hathwaite. But good that he allows Price to get back going again and stay in front of him there, although they've both lost a lot of time.
And now we've got this battle. Woodhouse and Addy, side by side, battling for second in the championship. Both men sitting on 119 points. Who's going to come out on top? Is Addy going to get his elbows out? Is he going to get the gloves on? Is he going to really put his fists out and have a good old knuckle-dusting scrap on the race circuit? Or is he going to roll over like a little puppy and get his belly tickled? We'll find out.
Let's see here. Towards the middle sector of a new lap here, turn 3, Honda corner here. Same right-hander coming up at turn 4 as well. And then the run to the long left at turn 5 here, which has been so far the subject of a couple of overtakes, a couple of bits of side-by-side. Bit of damage you can see for Matthew Addy as well. There doesn't seem to be affecting him too much as Woodhouse continues to apply the pressure. I think if Woodhouse gets away with here with a second place, he'll be pretty pleased with that, because there's nothing to say that if in a straight battle between himself and McIntosh, he wouldn't have come off second best anyway. So second place, I think he should be pretty pleased with if he can get away with this in race 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the thing. You've got to set up where you're at. You're going to end up at the back of the grid anyway. You know, you might as well just go and let that happen. So. Manley's back in YouTube chat again, so it's great that somebody's in there. This track is a true test of knowing the balance of the car and the grip of your tyres, a true driver's track. And I somehow agree with that. I think that's the thing. You've got to let the car settle that you're in. Otherwise, you are going to cause yourself dramas. And I think these guys are really going to have to learn that. These two, obviously, Hathwaite and Price, definitely need to learn it. Hathwaite needs to learn where his braking point is, and not hit Price up the butt, we say, and cause mass drama. But it is right, you've got to let these cars settle, and at the moment some people seem to be struggling a little bit.
Yeah, certainly do. And these two will continue on fighting for 5th place as well. I would say after their contact earlier, they might well be favourites now for race 2, because they'll have a better grid position. In fact, they will be 5th and 6th, both of them. Oh, then Leaf Southall might well take that honour now, because he's got a meatball. He's gone off through turn 3, I think it is there, based on the gravel smoke and, or the dust rather, that would
be. He broke the car.
Wow.
Broke the car.
Okay, so, yeah, well, I was wondering about this. Let's see it again here. Oh, dear.
And then it snaps, look.
I mean, it is a very vicious curve, but I didn't think it would break cars like this. Well, I was going to say, I did a broadcast the other night in the cross cars. Have you seen the new cross cars? They're sort of rallycross, but sort of buggies in iRacing. Yeah, they're a bit weird. Anyway, they've got very, very exposed suspension. They're sort of like Formula Fords in that respect, and but they're rallycross cars, and they break their suspension very, very easily. Now, the cars were going over that curb and at the rallycross circuit of Winton and breaking the suspension. I wasn't surprised about that, but the Mazda MX-5 breaking their suspension is a bit of a surprise to me, to be honest, because you think these cars could take a little bit more punishment than that, but it is a big curve.
Oh, it is, absolutely. That's the thing, it's a big old curve, and then of course you're putting a car up on 2 wheels. You know, it's not a Hollywood movie, is it? It ain't going to land, and your bumper's going to fall off, and you're going to carry on, and you're going to zoom over the next jump. It's not like that. That's the problem. You put too much through, and I nearly did the same thing. You put too much through them, and they are going to cause you problems. And as we saw there with Southall, it literally broke his car.
I mean, it was a very, very big hit, to be fair, though. Very, very large hit on the curbs there through turn 2. And indeed then passing the pit straight here, the former pit straight rather, at Winton, which has hosted the front straight for the original circuit, which broke ground in 1961. The extension to this venue, which is not from this point, where they turn left at turn 10, they used to carry on straight into a right turn. They added that section in 1997, eventually attracting a few more faster race cars, as you might imagine, because of the longer racetrack. 3 kilometres now rather than just 2, which is what it was, and a whole new pit building as well. This is the battle continuing on for 4th. We'll see whether Southwell actually gets into the race for race number 2. He seems to have left the session here. I'm hoping that he will race for race 2. I think he's got a great chance to go on and win it if he does.
Yeah, I think he has, but the problem is whether or not he's going to sit back and be grumpy about the fact he's just snapped his car. The interesting thing that's just happened as well is McIntosh must have made a mistake. He's got Addy and Woodhouse not far behind him. I saw him get a slowdown a little bit earlier on, but I don't think he's lost quite as much time, but he is down to about 8 tenths at the moment.
Yeah, this closing here, wouldn't have expected to see that, as McIntosh is about to see 2 laps to go here, by the way. Should be a 10-lap race in both races tonight, nice and simple, over the course of the 15 minutes. Of course, good that we have 2 races now as well. Just feel a little bit short just having the one race, so have 2 now. As Buckingham comes out the pit lane again, by the way, maybe he's realised that actually if he gets out for these last 2 laps, he's going to gain a place. And so off he goes out of the pit lane as well. But are we going to see a race lead change here late on? I wasn't expecting to, I must say, but Addy is finding some speed as this race goes on.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's coming more and more into it, and I think that's probably like learning where the track and how the track evolves and stuff like that. And I think that's the thing. He's got the gap down to 9 tenths. It's actually Woodhouse closer to Addy than Addy is to McIntosh. So if there's going to be a swap, I think it's going to be in and around 2nd place, but because McIntosh now has just pulled that out to a 2nd, but they've got to be careful of this turn. This turn number 1, it just seems scary.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's the effect that turn 1 has on turn 2, which is even more scary, because the thing that you do there affects you when you get here, and indeed that curve on the outside there it is. There's the split. It's a real sort of ramp up actually to that outside of the double-sided curb, if you like. It's that second part that really does the damage to these MX5s and indeed other cars, as I was talking about earlier on as well. Woodhouse now getting closer to Addy. I'm not sure he's got time really here. He's not showing the speed, to my mind, that is required for him to actually make this pass at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how Woodhouse gets on here, whether or not he can get this move done. Addy is definitely, he's sort of got it down to about 8 tenths, isn't he, at the moment? It seems to be this middle section that McIntosh struggles with, and then McIntosh just pulls off all the way around the rest of the lap until they get to that middle section again and the gap closes. But Addy needs to get a little bit closer here. 7 tenths at the moment, should get a little bit of a drop going into the next right-hander, and a little bit more coming out of the next right-hander as well. So he could still be close enough, but there's only going to be 1 more lap for him to do it.
Yeah, indeed. When you've got the faint slipstream up ahead there and you're the driver trying to defend, your life is made a whole lot easier by the fact that you have Chris McIntosh right there. Although that's a better run out the final turn from Luke Woodhouse here, coming over the start-finish line. Woodhouse is going to be in towards turn 1, pretty close in behind Matthew Addy. He doesn't use all the right-hand side of the road there, so Woodhouse is going to open this up a bit nicer. Look at the speed he's got as well. He's 3.5 tenths behind, but this is the last lap. You've got to be closer now, and he's got to get closer. It's really into those final couple of turns where he's got to make this move. I'm not sure it's going to happen anywhere else.
No, I kind of agree with you. I don't think he's going to get him any earlier than that, unless he can get him in, unless Addy makes some dramatic mistake that will bring Woodhouse into it. I think currently on our screen we're looking at the top 3, and I think that's how they're going to finish.
I think so. Is there a late surprise in here as they go through this, circling around a tree effectively. Turn 7, 8 and 9. Then back into another hairpin. Flows quite nicely one into the other. Skatomi corner. And now on to Shannon Straight. towards turn 10, which is the sharper of the 3 turns remaining on this racetrack. But if you're not close enough, then you're not close enough. And at the moment, none of these guys are. Matthew Addy and Luke Woodhouse pushing Chris McIntosh, and in fact getting closer to him as the race went on. But McIntosh, ever since we saw Woodhouse drop down the field with that big slide earlier on in the race, he was able to control it, and he wins race 1 here at Winton, the Virtual Circuit Racing MX5 Championship. Race 1 won by Chris McIntosh here for round 7. Nicely held on from those behind because the pressure was mounting on him there late on, but he held on fairly comfortably in the end.
Yeah, definitely did. He come over the line, no dramas there as well. Price finished in front of Hafeway. And Liam Joyce is... he was close to Mr. Ben Gibbons, but now, unfortunately, that corner has just cost him. He's just lost about a second and a little bit. So it looks like Ben Gibbons going to be in that 7th place. And, of course, as you say, if Dan Buckingham stays in the session and Lee Southall, they'll be on 1 and 2.
Yeah, Buckingham seems to be back, so it seems that he'll be... Maybe he's going to have the row on his own. But... Southwell at the moment doesn't seem to be in the session. Hopefully, as we say, he will get back in for this race. Well, that is the end of race number 1. We do have a couple of minutes warm-up in between times to get ready for that second race. In the meantime, here are the race results. Chris McIntosh wins by about 6 tenths in the end in front of Matthew Addy. Luke Woodhouse and Dave Price were next to Price, obviously a long way further behind with that gap there. Josh Hafthwaite there in 5th position. Luke Burton was in 6th, ahead of Ben Gibbons, who held on from Liam Joyce, who we saw there at the end, and Lee Southall and Dan Buckingham were multiple laps down. Neither of them actually returned after their issues earlier on in the day. So I'm looking at the voice chat at the moment. There is some more people in there that are not even racing in this session, so I'm not sure what they're doing. But I don't see Lee Southall in there, so I do fear that he might be gone. And in that case, who are we looking at as far as a race victory is concerned in this second race? Maybe Hafthwaite starting from a decent position in the midfield there.
No, he can't. And Josh has really struggled this year. He has not done Josh Hafthwaite things that we've seen in AC and the TCRs and stuff like that. He's really struggled in this car. And I don't know. I think even if you put him on pole position, I don't think Josh Hafthwaite would hold on to it. And that's no offence, Josh, if you watch this back. I honestly believe you are a great driver, but I just don't think you have got the speed in this car at the moment as well. Vandy's in YouTube chat again. I just love a good commentary team. Thank you, gents. There we go.
Let us know when you find one.
Yeah, give us a shout. Send us recommendations, Vandy. Send us recommendations, son. No, Leary. You could just...
So it was an open goal there. I just had to nod that one in.
Yeah, you could
it's a good cross.
You could just give us props for one night, could you? You even had to bring the whole commentary down.
Oh dear.
God blimey. Right, anyway, Vandy, on that note, we'll catch you later.
Oh dear.
Don't expect this for race number 2.
I couldn't pass up an opportunity like that. Anyway,
to be fair, that was set up for you to knock out the park. To be honest.
Thank you. Yes. The checkered flag waves, and that's the end of warm up. So the moment of truth in a moment as this grid comes up. It's a full reverse grid, by the way. Don't have to be in the top whatever. Here is the grid. It should be Buckingham and Southwell on the front row, but question marks as to whether they will start this second race. Let's hope they do. Liam Joyce and Ben Gibbons will be on row 2 in front of Luke Burton and Josh Hafthwaite, who's my pick, I've got to say, from 6th to go on and win this second race. We'll see whether he does. Dave Price and Luke Woodhouse will be on row 4 in front of Matthew Addy and Chris McIntosh, who were at the front, of course, in that first race. Therefore, at the back for the start of the second race. Southall is there, so he wasn't in there in this session, or indeed had any intention to get actually back in the first race, but he's in the second race, starting from the front.
I think Buckingham's missed the trick there. I think he's missed the trick not getting on it. So, yeah, go for it, Dan, go for it. Is he going to join from the pits? That's the problem, isn't it, really? I hope not, but we'll see. But Southall at the moment, I was sitting on pole position.
Will he have Buckingham alongside or not? Here's the question. Don't know if we have 1 or 2 minutes of gridding here. Everyone was just done in 1 minute last time. Indeed, it is only 1 minute, so booking will not start from the front, and Southall now could get a pretty bad start and still hold the lead here with that advantage that he holds over the rest of the field. Here we go, race number 2 from Winton, and Southall here is with a big opportunity to go on and make a race victory from this reverse grid race. Gibbons and Joyce side by side into turn 1, and Gibbons round the outside takes second. Joyce was tentative on the way in there. Haythwaite moves up to 4th, but of course they've all moved up 1, with Buckingham starting from the pit lane. He does start the race, but indeed from the pit lane in towards turn 3. Nice and orderly. Oh, apart from Gibbons, who goes for a spin, but he doesn't actually make contact with anybody else.
No, he did. Oh, there was a bit of an argy-bargy there between Burton and McIntosh. And we're on board with Addy. Addy's just cleared Burton as well. But I think if anybody's going to look at taking this, it might be Southall out in front. You know, it's 2 seconds up the road. These guys have still got fighting left to go with Haythwaite, with Joyce. Joyce is getting his elbows out as well. Go on, Liam, son, have some of it. And he's doing. Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, they're still. Oh my God, they're still 3 wide.
Well, Southall now has got a gap that he can't see going away, but Joyce there with an amazing save, and amazing for everybody else not to just run him over there as well. That would have been very easy to do, but they get themselves through eventually. That was close for Woodhouse, very close for Woodhouse there. Josh Haythwaite's already through and clear. Woodhouse now joined him. Here comes Chris McIntosh. 6 places gained in 1 lap, and yes, 1 was given for free. But what a great opening lap that is for the race 1 winner. Chris McIntosh up into 4th. Price follows through, so Addy as well. This field is streaming through on those who started at the front in this second race of the day.
Oh, Liam Joyce was doing so well, and then he just got beat up like the bully, like the school bully. He's just had his shoes nicked off him and then chucked him over a telephone like this. And Liam Joyce is going to go out here as well because he just on his lunch. Bit of a shame, but he got run over there, didn't he? He got out of position once, and that was it. And Haythwaite, I did like the fact that Haythwaite gave him a little bit of an elbow on the way through as well as he went to overtake him.
That was a lively opening lap, that's for sure. But we've got the leaders who effectively were at the front last time round now together again, albeit in a slightly different order. Southall more than 4 seconds in front of Josh Haythwaite, then Luke Woodhouse next in line. A second back to Chris McIntosh, and then another second to Price. So these gaps are not very large at all when you get out of that leading position. Haythwaite's going to have some defending to do from Woodhouse here, who's been quick so far.
Yeah, he definitely has. And now Haythwaite, I don't know, dude. I don't know if he can hold on to this. I just think Woodhouse might have that little bit more than what Haythwaite's got. So. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think Southall should theoretically take the win here. McIntosh is in his own little fight, but he's got the likes of Price and Addy, so that's going to be an interesting one with these 3. Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, no. Oh, and he doesn't get collected, does it? Oh!
He puts Joyce in the wall.
Oh, well, yeah, in trying to avoid, Joyce gets in the wall, and that does seem to be damage on that Mazda there. A little bit of...
Did he have anywhere to go, though? That's the problem, isn't it, for Liam Joyce? Or did he just come around the corner and there's a returning McIntosh?
See here, more smoke.
Oh, he clipped the entry wall.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not actually sure there from that angle. Joyce would have even known that that McIntosh was moving because of all the smoke and whatever. I don't actually think the fact McIntosh was moving actually affected that in the end. It's just that little bit of tyre barrier there that he's just clipped.
He clipped it. There you go, doing it backwards. I do apologise, but that's the only way I can get to see it. Yeah, he clipped the wall, unfortunately. So, yeah, I'm sorry, Chris. I think I'm going to blame you for it.
That's, well, probably shouldn't be moving anyway, but...
No, he shouldn't have been moving. He should have been stood still, but you know.
There you go. Didn't actually affect anything in the end. Southall is being caught pretty quickly by Haythwaite and Woodhouse here, and you wonder whether these two working together might be able to catch the race leader here, and it might not be quite as easy for Southall as it looked initially. There's more than 10 minutes left in this race, but perhaps more importantly, there's 7 laps left in this race because of the time remaining, so that is relatively plenty amount of time to get caught up to Southall. Need to get about 4 tenths a lap, which is not impossible.
No, but they're going to be battling with each other, aren't they? Or are they just going to play the smart, follow my leader?
Yeah, well, I think they're going to be smart, yeah.
You know what I mean? And if they're smart about it, then there's no reason. Oh, dear me, I hate that. Look at that curb. It's down in a V as well. It's meteoric. If they're not smart and they still fight, I think Southall's going to win. If they are smart and they stay together and just push each other, then yeah, I think they could catch it.
Yeah, I think so. But so far, based on what we've seen in the first 5 minutes, I think they are working together well here. It's now 2.3, so it's just continuing to close again and again. Although Southall was one of the favourites from the previous race, although he had that incident, he didn't quite have the speed, I wouldn't say, of Woodhouse or Haythwaite. Certainly Woodhouse. So let's see. It looks like he is being caught rather quickly now as Price and Addy are being distanced as well. Looks like it's going to be 3 for the lead, but what stage are they going to catch here? They're not going to fight until they get there. I think we're seeing a real smart bit of driving from these two, not to fight it out. Otherwise they wouldn't catch up. So they're working together well, and they need to.
I do agree with you. I think they're doing a great job of pulling that gap down. It was out of 4.2 or something ridiculous. It's now 1.7. So these guys have done an absolutely meteoric job. And you can see the gap there from Woodhouse to Haythwaite. It's on the lap times. But let's try and bring in Haythwaite to Southall. And you can see these guys are going to be quicker too. They're probably going to be quicker this one as well. So I think Southall could be under pressure very shortly. But I think they're working better together than they are for Addy and Price here, who seem to be dropping back the wrong way rather than closing in on the guys in front.
Well, I just don't think they're quite as quick here. They're working together in the same way, but they're just not quite as quick at the moment. Whereas Haythwaite and Woodhouse absolutely are. I mentioned earlier they need about 4 tenths a lap or so, or whatever it was. They're getting way more than that. And that means they're going to have laps to spare to make the move as well, which is what you need. 4 tenths a lap I was talking about would get you there by the last lap with a chance to actually make the overtake. Well, that's all well and good, but if you can have 3 or 4 chances, 3 or 4 laps, that's much better. So they are ahead of schedule as it stands, and that's where you need to be if you want to make the passes, especially if you Woodhouse here, because don't forget he's got to make 2 passes there from third, but he can't make them yet.
When do you think, though, the likes of Addy and Price are going to give up being all nicey-nicey and go full bore at each other? Because they've only got, theoretically, you've got 7.5 minutes to go. It's not exactly like you've got loads of the race left. You know, when do you think these two are going to have a ding-dong? When are these two going to have a ding-dong? Or are they ever going to have a ding-dong until they get up to Lee Southall?
No, I don't think they are until they get to Southall. I think they're going to stay away from each other until then. But they both understand what's going on here. I think at the front of the race, they both understand what's at stake. And look, Southall just pulls off through turn 2, and he's gone. Well, that is highly unusual. Lee Southall, after leading 5 laps of this race, has just pulled off to the side and retired.
Very bizarre. Ben Gibbons has hit a wall, I think. He's had to jump back to pit lane now.
There's a lot of spins like that at this place.
Let me see, I'll do some investigation. See if I can find out what happened to the
That's very unusual. Yeah. It's almost like a pacemaker in a running race. Just did his job, and now he's pulled over. But anyway. What?
A pacemaker? Oh, the pacemaker! I thought you meant like the heart machine.
Not the heart machine. No, the the person who runs at the front of a running race, so they don't all just plod along at walking pace.
Like the heart machine. I was like,
no. Pacemaker. That's what they're called, aren't they?
I don't know. They're called pacemakers.
No, they're not.
No,
What are they called then?
I don't think they're pacemakers. Lee Southall had a hardware issue. Apparently, the small speed back keeps shutting off. I'm going to find out now what they're called. Hold on, you carry on.
Because they set the pace. It's got to be. Anyway, I suppose he just did the safer thing there. So that's why it was weird, because he seemed to pull off the road with complete control, which is the weird thing for a technical problem. But yeah, if that is an explanation that lines up with what we saw quite nicely, with no force feedback, and that is a real shame. 3 laps to go when they get to the line. The window for battling here between these two is definitely open now, and Woodhouse is just picking his moment to try and come through and win this race.
Yeah, absolutely right. They've got different names depending on the sports, I'd like to point out. They're called either, you are right, pacemakers or rabbits, apparently. In horse racing, they're called the front runner or the pace setter. In amateur running, they're called pace bunnies or pacers. But apparently you can't have any in the Olympics, so they haven't got any in the Olympics. But yeah, you are right. Pacemakers are contracted to drop out after their designated distance and have the top contenders to race to the finish. So there we go. Fair play. I still swear to God you got the heart machine.
Well, what about what he just did bears any relation to that heart machine? I mean,
no idea. Well,
wouldn't make any sense.
It just turns off, doesn't it? He set the
well,
pace
hopefully
and the
not.
heart machine just turns off. That's what his steering wheel did. It set the pace and it just turned off.
Dear me. Anyway, they'll fight it out for the win now. These two. Let's see. There's Ryan Joyce just in front of them. Actually, it's going to be overtaken here indeed put a lap on, I should say. He's down in 7th position. He'll be the only one to be lapped in this race, you'd imagine. Is he going to have any effect here or not here? It's Hafeway is the first one to come through. He's going to pull off to the left-hand side, and they both just about slalom around him, going through and around the tree there. So they'll get away with that, but I've got to say, so far, Woodhouse has not really looked very close to actually making this pass.
Not really. Not really. If Josh wins, then I'm going to eat my words, aren't I? You know what I mean? Because I said he weren't going to win. So if he does win,
I did.
I know you did. But if he does win, then I'm going to sit here and just eat humble pie.
Yeah. Well, let's see if it happens in the next 2 laps. Indeed, it is now. Just under 3 minutes, and Hafeway in front of Woodhouse is going to be our fight to the end. Price and Addy are not changing places either, and that's the 3rd place, further back at the moment, in towards turn 1 and 2 again. It's been a nice line from Hafeway on the way through here so far, and they're getting closer and closer to that outside curb there as they push here. Going to be fascinating to see how they go there on the final lap as they put it all on the table here to try and win this race, or indeed Woodhouse might just follow him in for second. We'll see. I'd imagine he's going to go for this win.
Yeah, I think he's going to go, but the question is when. When is he going to get it? Where is he picked that he realises he's quicker than Hafeway in front of him? You know, that's the thing, isn't it? Where is Woodhouse going to do this? That's the problem. From now, he's got probably 1, maybe 2 opportunities at the most, down into 10 and maybe into 11. Other than that, he ain't got a shot at this.
Well, yeah. It's going to be very, very tricky as he comes out of the hairpin of turn 9. It's a bit of a better exit from him that time, but he's still 4/10 behind. You're not going to be lunging from all this way back. You 2 or 3 car lengths in there. A little bit of a slide on the way in, clips the curb on the inside, and look at that gap go over half a second now for the first time in a while. The slipstream will keep you close, but it will not just give you the position at this circuit like it does at some others in the mx5s. It's nearly a second now as well. Woodhouse losing speed. Hafeway surely, as he sees the white flag, is closing on a victory here.
Yeah, absolutely. Mandy's in YouTube chat. He's put a bet on. He said he bets past attempt comes at the last corner after the long straight.
I'm not sure there's going to be one now.
No, I don't think there is. I think we're likely to see one coming from Addy and Price, but both of these have got very tight on the left. I don't know why they're risking it for biscuit, but they are. But yeah, I think. Oh, saying that though, it has just come down to half a second.
Well, yeah, maybe it's not over yet. Hafeway and Woodhouse, nose to tail again. A bit tighter there around turn 5, and a bit of a nicer line into 6. Ooh. Oh, he's pushing hard there. He's in the grass and in the dirt. Here comes Woodhouse, maybe looking to the inside of turn 8. That's not going to happen through there. Turn 9's really difficult to get down the inside of here, but Hafeway will be wary of it. As the seconds now tick away, Woodhouse is getting his final chances here, but it's this final section he's not quite as good at compared to Heavyweight, I think. His exit out of turn 9, not quite as good. In towards turn number 10. Heavyweight strong on the brakes as well, and on the exit. And it looks like Woodhouse's best chance is now gone behind him here, as he got close through that middle sector. That's where he had to strike, but incidentally, that is where it's most difficult to make a pass as well. Will he dive at the final turn? He's not close enough. Haythwaite holds on after a race of pressure put onto him by Luke Woodhouse. Josh Haythwaite wins race 2 here from Winton in the Virtual Circuit Racing mx5 Championship. There he goes over the line, and he's very, very pleased with a race victory just in front of Woodhouse in the end there.
Yeah, great job from him. Price manages to hold on to 3rd. So great job from him. Him and Addy come over the line as they were. Chris is come over the line in 5th. Liam Joyce over the line in 7th. No Buckingham, no Kidman. So there we go. Well, that was quite an interesting race, number 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was in the end. And a bit of overtaking at the start, coming through the field. Bit of drama, unfortunately, for Lee Southall as he dropped out. But in the end, Josh Haythwaite comes through to take the victory there. Luke Woodhouse ends up in 2nd. Dave Price and Matthew Addy were fighting it out to 3rd in the end there. Price and one ended up on the podium. Chris McIntosh ending up in 5th place there, with Luke Burton in 6th. 1 lap down for Liam Joyce. Lee Southall pulled off the road with 5 laps to go. Dan Buckingham and Ben Gibbons retired much earlier in that race here tonight. So we'll give them a moment to join. But yeah, this race did feel very open, both of them actually, because of Traffic King and his absence here tonight.
Absolutely. The question is, though, would Traff have pulled away and won it? The interesting thing as well, we go back to Alton Park next week on the international layout. So that's going to be a bit of a spicy one. But I am looking forward to round 9.
Being Tsukuba.
Absolutely. I love Tsukuba, dude.
I know. I mean,
it is an awesome circuit. You should drive it in these cars. It is amazing.
I was about to say, if there's ever a car that would suit it, then I'll allow this one. But
maybe all that dirt midget thing that you were talking about.
Well, maybe, but they were painfully slow, even at Brands Hatch. So.
Oh, okay.
So, on the Brands Hatch Rallycross course, so goodness knows what it's like at the proper road course like that. Anyway, well, we've been nattering on. Some of the guys, anyway, have got themselves in the waiting room, and I can't drag them again, so I forgot about that bit. Still can't drag them.
Who do you want?
We'll just do Heavyweight first, since he's just won that 2nd race here tonight. Josh, welcome in. Congrats on winning the 2nd race here tonight. Luke was right behind you for pretty much all of that race, but was there ever a moment where you were unsure as if he was going to pass you or not get past you towards the end there?
I think 2nd to last lap, he coming out of the last corner, he put it in 1st, and I gained a bit of time, and he was immediately back on me. I think that was when I started to worry that he was going to get round me.
In the end, you were able to hold on. But what about in the earlier stages of the race there? You started right in the midfield. How was it coming through the field here at Winton?
It was all right. It was a bit scrappy, as it usually is with the reverse races. It was good fun though. Liam gave me a big love tap going into one of the hairpins, or coming out of one of the hairpins, one of those two. But no, it was good fun. I enjoyed it quite a lot.
Well done for getting to the front for race number 2. Anyway, is there anybody you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
My wonderful fiance, my granddad watching at home, and my work, Falcon Turbos, and you guys.
You might not want
Thanks very much, and congratulations again, and hopefully we'll see you again next week.
And you might want to forgive me after
Josh
Haythwaite,
race 2 winner here tonight from Winton.
There you go.
So who do we get to now? The other race winner, I suppose, Chris McIntosh, who might be able to join us. There he is. Chris, welcome in. Congratulations on race 1 victory. And we'll start with that. A little bit of a gap closing towards the end there. Had us a bit concerned you might lose the lead late on, but you did hold on. How was that first race for you?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Sort of just fighting with Luke at the beginning, and then obviously just cold tyres kind of caught him off guard a wee bit in his spawn. It gave me a bit of an early lead. And like saying, Matt, I think Matt was the one closing down on me. He's been quick all tonight, so I kind of seen the delta dropping, but I wasn't too stressed, to be honest. I know it might have looked like it was dropping a lot quicker, but I wasn't too worried.
I can imagine it's much more comfortable being in the car in those scenarios. But of course, it puts you at the back for race number 2. And tell us about that experience coming through the field at this circuit.
Also quite interesting on cold tyres, just making sure everyone's sliding about, so you're hoping that you don't obviously ruin anyone else's race. It turns out I ruined my own race by going off road a wee bit in the last corner and taking too much curb, so I spun. But it was still good, enjoyable. I tried to catch back up with Matt and Dave, but I think the delta basically just stayed even every lap. Everyone's too similar paced.
Yeah. Well, that certainly did appear in the second race. It did look a bit like that. Is anybody like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Just you boys for chucking on the stream, giving something to watch back at the end of the night, see what carnage that we missed from outside of our cockpits. But other than that, yeah, just everyone at VCR for putting on the show.
Thanks very much for coming to have a chat with us, Chris, and congratulations on winning in race 1 tonight.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Chris McIntosh, race 1 winner here tonight from Winton. Let's have a chat to Luke Woodhouse, shall we, in second place for race number 2 there. Luke, welcome in, and congratulations on getting to the podium in race 2 there, but couldn't quite get to the race win. Just tell us about those laps of trying to get your way past Josh Haythwaite there.
Yeah, no, good few laps, I think, behind Josh, pretty much most of the race. I think I sat behind him in race 2. One of those, I was quicker in a few areas. Josh was quicker in a few areas. Overall, pretty similar. But no, it's just good sort of chasing, and just didn't have the overall pace to make the moves. I didn't want to send anything.
No, I suppose you are preserving yourself in that scenario as well. Talk to us about race number 1 there, because you speak about the sort of small gaps between the front of you. It seemed to be sort of 5 or 6 of you at the front there who were, really close on speed in race 1 especially.
Yeah, right. I mean, race 1 was all grouped together, I think, from probably lap 2 or lap 3. Yeah, it's a good sort of grouping of pace that we had. It makes it just enough that you can still have battles and overtake, but not enough so you've got a big spread between cars. But yeah, no, I had a bit of a big slide in lap 2, I think, race 1. Managed to save it somehow. I'm not sure how, but put me back down to, I think, P5 or something. They managed to go up to a couple of places. But no, it was a great race.
Absolutely. Well, congrats on getting up to second, especially in race number 2. Is anybody like to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, you guys again, streaming. Yeah, thank you as always. And just all the lads who have consistently showed up this season. It's made for a great season. And next season, we're doing TCR Championship, which is looking really strong with numbers already. I mean, we're only just over a week into sign-ups being open. So looking forward to that, and hopefully see a 30-plus car grid, which will be pretty awesome. So, yeah.
Certainly, and back to the TCRs, or at least it was when I started with this league. So it'd be good to go back. Congrats again on getting to, especially second in race 2 tonight, and thanks for chatting to us at the end, Luke, as well.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Take care.
Thanks so much. Luke Woodhouse, second place in race 2 in front of Dave Price in the end, who was on the podium there in the second race as well. We can chat to now as well. Dave, welcome in. Congrats on getting to that podium in the second race there, especially as well. It was close between yourself and Matthew Addy for pretty much the whole race, but it didn't seem to me like you felt particularly threatened with someone so close behind you. Was that the case when you were in the car?
Yeah, there was one area. Also, firstly, hi guys, how's it going? It's been a while since I've been in the broadcasting chat.
Hi, Dave.
But it was good with Matt Addy. There was one section, the middle section, that he was really quick on, but then I could just eke out a little bit of a gap through some of the faster sections. So, but Matt's a very fast guy, especially in the mx5. So I'm doing all right. I'm holding my own a little bit. This isn't my usual gig, so but I didn't want to be away from the boys for too long, so I thought I'd just join it anyway.
Oh, absolutely, and good to see you out here. How did you find sort of that opening race? I was just talking to Luke there about how close it seemed across the board there. I mean, it looks entertaining to drive in when you're all so evenly matched like that.
Yeah, it was the first race was very good. The practice session before the qualifying was like 2 tenths between top 5, top 6, so we knew it was going to be very close. I think the circuit probably helped that a little bit because none of us have been practicing, really naughty of us, and then also it's not a circuit that any of us really drive, so we all kind of came in with the same knowledge, and it was nice to see everyone being so close and then such a wild race at the start. It was tricky with the conditions and the cold tyres, but no, it was really good. It's really good fun racing MX5s. I wasn't all for it at the start of the season, let's say, but I am starting to enjoy it, and it is a lot of fun.
Well, good that you're starting to enjoy it as well, especially towards just in time for the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
In a few, it's always the way with these things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Just Luke for running VCR and all the boys that turn up. Like I say, we've become more of a friendship rather than a league, but it's awesome. It's great to be a part of, and you guys for hosting the stream as always.
Thanks very much, and congrats on getting to your podium tonight, and hopefully we'll see you again in the coming weeks.
Yeah, sure you will. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much. Dave Price, third place in race 2 tonight from Winton especially, chatting to us there at the end of the broadcast tonight. That's just about it from us here from Winton Motor Raceway. This has been the Virtual Circuit Racing MX5 Championship here tonight on the JPB YouTube channel. We'll be back next week, by the way, from Oulton Park, as we mentioned before, but this time on the international layout. Instead of taking that hairpin, we'll be going on a little bit further and taking on a different hairpin and a different layout completely. So look forward to that in 1 week's time, once again, as the 2-race format now persists through the second half of this season. I've been Ewan alongside James Parfitt until we see you indeed next week for that round at Oulton Park. It's goodbye for now.